I am told by police administration that it's not technically an identity crime, but the city of Pittsburgh and the royal administration in London constructed a persona, their words, Greg Coral's words. They constructed a persona around the deaf man. I can't defend myself because I can't hear. I can't speak in such a tone and timing as to be able to defend myself. I was not advised as to what they were doing. I was completely in the dark and held subconscious, unconscious, and semi conscious in traumaconic um, condition of neuropsychiatric hypnosis due to an implant. And this was dealing themselves in the hand of a dummy. So the motive behind terrorizing people who make them think of me. The motive in assigning me the role of Jinx who coulda, and attributing things that had nothing to do with me to me, while playing off of my poetry for destructive acts, comes from the royal administration and the city of Pittsburgh. They're the ones with the motive. City of Pittsburgh has major felony problem in the Jewish community. The domestic terror inflicted on me because I was Irish, because I was not Jewish, and the manner of sentiment used forced me to assimilate and accept these horrors. It had made it impossible for either me or my sister to overcome the trauma of having lived in that neighborhood. Trauma, terror are their objectives. They did this to us as symbolic Americans, and because we stand out as symbolic Americans, because I stand out as a symbolic American, because I symbolize something to the mind of Yoko Ono, because I symbolize the victory at sea in World War II, because my father was on Bush's ship in the Navy. I don't know what kind of weird, catastrophic associate Bush was to my father that he would stand there and do this to a cabin boy from their ship. But because I symbolized, it doesn't matter that I know nothing about it. I'm just a dummy. They just dealt me into a situation and said, that's your corner. You have to stay there. And they think, oh, now we have a rat corner. Let's get it to fight. And they're Putin happy. Let me explain to you some things. They claimed I could have saved John Lennon. Nothing to do with any kind of reality associated with me. Nobody who knew me, identified me, talked to me, or in any way had anything to do with me would have for a second entertained the idea that I would have, with any sort of malice, approached John Lennon. Nothing to do with reality. The evidence shows that John Lennon was behind this, and he pulled some sort of demagogic switcheroo and pulled a Houdini in this weird game of trumping bluff, which gets crazier and more sadistic with every turn of the screw. Who had the motive in doing this? They blame me for things that had nothing to do with me. And they want people to identify me as the jinx so that they can terrorize me. And this game comes from a citizen ban lobby in the United States of America. The cowardliness that comes out of Pittsburgh when it comes to the way I was tortured as a child, the sadistic, sniveling cowardice of Robert Fripp and King Crimson, brutally torturing a deaf man, child. Brutally. And they're coming up with these saying aphorisms like the pathetic subjected to set of degradations of the X motive. That's what they were doing. That's what I said they were doing. That's why I had to pursue it to find out what sort of a horror show was going on behind the scenes. It turns out they were running an administrative farce of extermination pornography. How can you not identify that from what they pulled? And it comes from that Yoko Ono weirdo. And she's using me. She's been allowed to. Bush is some kind of weird traitor.